Hello everyone and welcome to this episode. In this episode, I'm going to be walking you through your general education and bachelor degree requirements to show you exactly what you'll need to complete here at the University of Utah. So the first step is to go to advising.utah.edu, and this is going to take you to the form that we'll be walking through. Now once here, you're going to click on the first option that says advising and select the option that says graduation requirements. Once here, you're going to want to scroll to where you see the red hyperlink that says worksheet, and it's going to take us to a PDF. So this is a really great resource to look at when trying to choose your classes, but also knowing what's going to be required of you before you graduate. So this is our general education and bachelor degree requirement worksheet. Now, hopefully you'll see this in the future during an advising appointment. It's really important to make sure that you're referring back to this. Now we're going to go through a couple different things, the first of which is going to be this box near the top. So for our credit hour and GPA requirements, you can see here that a 2.0 minimum cumulative GPA is required at the University of Utah in order to graduate. You also must maintain a 2.0 or above to be in good standing at the University of Utah. So that's really important to keep in mind. Even though only the U requires 2.0 minimum, many different majors actually require higher than that, maybe a 3.0 or a 3.5 in order to graduate. Below you can see where it says minimum 122 semester hours. So these are going to be credit hours. So we have some majors that are on the longer end, such as engineering, that are over 100 credit hours, and something shorter like psychology, which might be closer to 41 credit hours. So this is to make sure that all students complete a minimum number of credit hours. If you selected a major towards the shorter end, that's completely fine. It actually gives you the opportunity to potentially earn a double major or a minor or something like that in order to maintain and fulfill this minimum semester hour requirement. Over here where it says 40 upper division semester hours. So if you're looking for classes and you see anything at the 1,000 level or 2,000 level, these are going to be our lower division. Anything at the 3, 4, or 5,000 level are considered upper division semester hours. So this is just letting you know that you actually have to have at least 40 credit hours of upper division, which should be included within your major. Residency hour requirements is a little bit different for our out-of-state students who are thinking this is considered with residency requirements, a little bit different. So if in the case that a student took 3.5 years at another university, wanted to transfer to the U and do 1 semester and graduate, you would actually need to make sure that you've got enough credit hours taken at the University of Utah prior to graduation before you're able to receive a U of U degree. So if you're an incoming freshman, you don't really need to worry about this. This is just if you were looking to transfer in and you needed to maintain a certain number of credit hours before you were able to receive a U of U degree. Going through the rest of this, you can see the rest of this sheet is broken out into 2 main portions. So the first portion is going to be your general education requirements, right up here. So you can see that it's going to go in order. So first of all, I see the American institutions. So this is the category, so it's telling me you have to have an American Institutions course before graduation. There's only 1 line here, so I know I just need 1 class. Here I can see this is telling me I need a minimum grade of D- or CR. This means credit. So in some cases you can elect a credit non-credit option, which is like a pass-fail, and this is just telling me you have to at least have a D- or better. Now below it, it's going to give me 3 options. It's telling me I can take History 1700, Econ 1740, or Political Science 1100. Those are only the 3 options from which you can fulfill this requirement. Now with your writing course, Writing 2010, there's only 1 option that's required and you have to take this one. And again, 1 line here. Now if you test into the prerequisite, Writing 1010, that's completely fine. You'll just have to take that before taking Writing 2010. Now with your quantitative reasoning, this is considered to be something like your math and your statistics. So again, right next to all of these classes, it's going to tell me the grade I have to have in order to complete the requirement. So here next to QA, you'll see you need Math 1030 or higher. If in the case that you've been given a test score of Math 1010, again, that's completely fine. You will just need to complete that before being able to complete your QA requirement, which could be 1030, 1050, 1060, 1090, calculus. You may actually have tested out of this depending on your ACT score or if you've done something like AP calculus. So this is definitely something to keep in mind when talking to your advisor. Now, quantitative reasoning, QB, this is going to be something like your statistics. Now, oftentimes your major, whichever one that you choose, may have one that they recommend. Also wanting to keep in mind if you test out of this through your ACT or if you happen to do like AP statistics in high school or something like that. Now, if I keep going down this list, the intellectual exploration area. So this is where you get a lot of choice. This should be a really fun area to take a look at. And it's telling me, here's my minimum grade, and I need 2 courses in each area. And it will actually give you a link to which you can look at all of the courses that are approved to complete these requirements. Now, you can see it's broken up into 4 main areas. We've got fine arts, humanities, the physical life science or applied science, in the social behavioral science area. So what's really good to know is actually, even though there are 4 categories, you will only be required to fulfill 3, because no matter what major you choose, one of these will be automatically built in. So if in the case that you are deciding to major in psychology, you will not be required to take additional social behavioral science classes here because they will be built into your major. If you're doing something like engineering, that pulls from the science area, so same thing applies. You'll need to talk with your major advisor to make sure that you get the exact classes that your major requires. If for some reason you are majoring in communication, that actually falls within the College of Humanities, so this would be the area that you would be exempt from. And if you are a ballet major, which is in our College of Fine Arts, you would not be required to complete additional courses here. Now, if you're like, oh, I have a major that I don't know where it fits into, that's a great question. Make sure to ask your advisor. Something that we see is the College of Health or the School of Business. Those 2 actually pull from our social behavioral science area. So again, good to keep in mind. This is an area where a lot of your AP can actually cover, so make sure that you know which classes complete your AP requirements that you took in high school, which will be in another episode, or you can talk with your advisor. Now, here at the end, you can see the bachelor degree requirements in this second box. So this is going to be requirements that are, for the most part, actually automatically built into your major. That's why they're separated out. So you'll see that you are actually required to do an upper division communication or writing course. Usually the prerequisite for this class is your writing 2010, so that's why we recommend completing this earlier. This should be done within your first semester, if not your first year of university. You also have a diversity requirement, an international requirement, and it's telling me it has to be upper division, so again, 3,000 level or above. And then we have a big distinction here with the word "or" in all caps. So if you are completing a Bachelor of Science or a Bachelor of Arts, there is a difference. So for our Bachelor of Science, you're required to take a quantitative intensive requirement. You need 2 of those QIs. Sometimes they are more research oriented. Sometimes you can take a math class for these, but it's not necessarily going to be straight numbers. It is dependent on your major and the courses that they have as options for you. Now for the BA, the difference between a Bachelor of Science and a Bachelor of Arts is the language requirement. So if in the case that you are wanting to pursue a BA, or if your major tells you that it's only offered as a BA, some majors are only offered as a BA or as a BS. For example, the College of Engineering, their degrees are only offered as a BS. If you're doing a language requirement, you would need, or wanting to do a language as part of your degree, you could do a minor or something like that, or just take classes. But to actually complete the BA language requirement, it's letting me know I need 1 course. However, in order to get that 1 course, there are some other things to think about. Usually for students who are not fluent in the language in which they're wanting to pursue as part of their BA, if they haven't taken any of those classes before, it can take about 4 semesters to complete the BA language requirement. It's not just 1 entry-level course. You actually have to get through 4 courses of the same language continuously to be able to complete this requirement. So make sure that when you're choosing whether you want a BS or a BA, that you're not just looking at, 2 classes versus 1 class, because unless you're able to test into a higher level, if you're a fluent speaker of the language in which you're wanting to pursue, you would be taking probably 4 additional classes. Then at the bottom you see it says major requirements, and it's asking you to then go to majors.utah.edu. This is a really great website where you can actually go through, learn about majors, make appointments with major advisors to kind of make those decisions about what major is going to be the best for you. This is a really brief overview of this whole document, but you're going to want to go through, look at all of your options, become pretty familiar with this page, and you can actually talk about this more in depth with an advisor during your advising appointment.